Alright, what's up YouTube? This is my third or fourth time trying this out. First all I like to do is say, make sure you subscribe, hit that post notification bell, like, and comment. This is my fourth time trying to shoot this video. I'm actually sitting in my car. I just got my car at the shop the other day. And the people messed up my car, man. So they charged me for some stuff, control arm bar and something else. I don't have a paper here. Hold on, I'll do it. They charged me for the control arm bar. Something about the primary fuel pump. Lateral arm. Multi-function switch. Okay, fuse box. Shocks. Jet pump. Something about a secondary pump. They just, I don't know. But when they did the multi-function switch, which is my turn signal, this had broke off. I don't know if you guys can see. I know I broke this about 6 or 7 years ago in this car. This is a 2011 Dodge Charger SE. It's not a V8. So I broke this about back in, I want to say 2017, probably 2018. So I broke this. I didn't know what it was called, but it's called the multi-function switch. It's the turn signal and also has the windshield wipers on. So when I came back out to the car, when I broke it, I didn't know. I just heard something fall. I was like, what the hell was that? I had on my keychain, you know how you have your team, your sports team, that long keychain thing? I forgot what you call it. But it hooked onto it when I got in the car. And funny thing is, I remember that day. I don't remember what it was I was trying to get out the car, but when I got in the car and cut it on, and my windshield wipers started going real fast, I tried to cut them off. The switch was gone. And that's when I noticed that it, obviously that it was broke. And I remember thinking at that moment, like, damn it, what I got in the car to get wasn't even worth coming back to the car for. I don't know what it was, but it was not worth the damage that caused. But anyway, the car was just in the garage for like 2 years. So I it was on E the last time my tire blew out. And we had major problems, like, let me get this camera out. Like, hold on, let me turn this on so you guys can see from this angle. Okay. All right, so around the time when my car was last running right, this thing came on, and the car started doing exactly what you see in that picture. Exactly what you see right here. Exactly what you see right here. That is exactly what my car started doing while it was driving. So I had that problem for some time. Like, I honestly think like within 2 or 3 years of buying a car, I started feeling it ride funny, but it would happen every once in a while. Like once every few months, it'll do that little wiggle thing, like what you see on that traction control. So it had got worse over time. Like it was doing it every time you hit a bump, every time you try to turn, it would do it. So, and it used to blow the tires out. Like it started blowing the tires out once a year. Then it was like once every 8 to 10 months. Then it dropped to like every 4 months. Then the last time I got the tire fixed, it actually got ready to blow. It actually blew out a month later. So that's when I ended up parking it. Now I did go get it checked out, and I did try to get alignments and all that. And the last thing I heard was that it was something very wrong with the suspension part. So I ended up parking the car because I thought, well, I knew it would, well, at the moment I thought it would be expensive to get that part fixed. So I parked the car, and at the time I parked it, it was on E. Like, I didn't go to the gas station, like it was on the red line. I used to go out and start the car, let it run, but eventually my battery ended up going dead. So once the battery went dead, I guess the gas ran out, and I ended up not going to the gas station to get gas, or even try to jump the car. I just let it sit because I knew that it was. I thought at the moment it would be expensive to get it fixed. So we ended up the house that we were living in. It ended up getting put on the market for sale like a year ago. So as time went on, we ended up getting that letter, that the house had been sold and that the new owners wanted to move in. So it became a problem because we was trying to figure out how we was going to get this car out of the garage. So it became time to go ahead on and get the car fixed. So it was like, well, now you have to go see. My wife was like, so now you have to go see what's wrong with that car because you got to get it up out this garage. So we had it towed. First I went and bought a battery. Okay, this is what happened. I went and bought a battery. I was going to drive it to see what was wrong with the car. So when I bought the battery, put the battery in, the car wouldn't start. So I went and got gas, put gas in there, it still wouldn't start. I went and got more gas, put more gas in there, it still wouldn't start. So I had to get it towed to the shop. So once it got to the shop, the guy told me, he said, oh, it's your fuel system is all, your fuel system is all mixed up. It's going to be like $3,000, get that fixed. I was like, damn. And I was still thinking about the suspension part, like, how much is that going to be? I was thinking that's going to be like another $5,000. So I thought I was looking at like 8-9 G's. At that moment, before he said, oh, whatever's wrong with your suspension, and he named it all off, the stuff that I read on the paper. He named it all off. He said it'd be about $1,500 to $2,000 to get that fixed. Well, it was $1,500 to get that fixed, right? So I was like, okay, well, go ahead and do it. So once I hung up the phone, I was telling my wife, like, oh my God, I can't believe that car sat in the garage for 2 years, and all I needed to pay was $1,500 to get it fixed, and now I have to pay $5,300. It was $5,300. No, it was at that moment he had told me. I remember it was like $3,500 to get it fixed. Or no, $3,800. It was almost $4,000 to get it fixed. And then he called me back. And then he said, what did he say? Oh, he said, your windshield wipers won't even cut on in the car. So I was like, oh yeah, I used to have to pull the fuse out so the windshield wipers could stop swinging real fast. So I had to pull the fuse out so I don't be riding up and down the street with the windshield wipers going on. He was like, well, I did notice that was broke. I could replace that too. That'll be another $350. So I don't know how it went from, oh, it was $4,800. Yeah, it was $4,800, not $3,800. It was $3,800 to get it fixed. And then he called me and said he'll charge me $350 for a part and another $100 to do it, or $200 to do it. So it was another $500, which came up to $5,300. You guys would not believe this, I swear. I'm still using my Canon. Let me show you guys real quick what I'm using here. So I'm using this Canon camera, right? So you can't even get good light from it, from the angle I'm sitting at. So I'm using this big Canon Rebel, Rebel T2i. My girl bought me this camera a couple of Christmases ago. We were supposed to go take some pictures, so they wanted to give me the cameras to take pictures. So they bought me this camera, and I didn't know until like a few months ago when I tried to vlog that it cuts off every 10 minutes. Like, it's one of those old cameras. So for some reason it stops recording after, I think, 11 minutes, close to 12 minutes. So I watched the video and I noticed that I think I still said, hold on, let me cut the air back on this side. Okay. So I think I still said $3,800. It was $4,800. He quoted me $4,800, and then he said something about the multifunction. No, he said I think I just said this, but he said your windshield wipers won't cut off, I said, yeah, because the turn signal, it broke off. He said, yeah, I noticed that I could replace that too. Now, I should have left it at the fuel system and the suspension, because when they replace that multifunction switch, which is this turn signal thingy, when they replaced this, they ran into so many problems. Every time they call me, it's funny because I'm trying to recreate the moment. I can't recreate the moment like I said in the last videos I tried to record. I kept saying you can't recreate that moment. I just lost everything I was saying, so I can't recreate that moment. I was talking for so long when this camera cut off. But what the hell happened? Okay, so I dropped the car off on Friday. He called me that day while we were eating. He quoted me that price. When he called me back Saturday, no, he told me Friday the car will be ready by Wednesday. So he gave me until Wednesday. He told me to give them until Wednesday and they would have the car ready by then. So when Wednesday came, they said, hey man, he said, hey man, we got everything up and running, but we're having problems with that multifunction switch, which again is the turn signal thingy. So he said, we're having problems with the multifunction switch. So I was like, okay, so, you know, how much longer? He said, if that was Wednesday, he told me to give him until about Friday. So when Friday came, he said, we're still having problems with the multifunction switch. Give us until tomorrow, which was Saturday. So when he called me back on Saturday, no, I had to call them. I called him back on Saturday. He said they're still having problems with the multifunction switch. They were closed on Sunday, give them until Monday. When Monday came, he hit me with Wednesday again. So he told me on Wednesday. So he hit me with Wednesday again. I called him on Wednesday, or he called me on Wednesday. He said we got the multifunction switch up and running. Everything was all right, but something blew out on the multifunction switch, so we have to reorder it. Now I think that he had already said that, and that's why I ended up back to Wednesday again. So he said give us until Friday that time, because he said that they did replace it, but they're having problems with getting the windshield wipers to cut on, and they're having problems with getting what else was it? Oh, the turn signals. No, not the turn signals. He said they're having problems with the windshield wipers. I think that was the only problem he said they were having. Now I remember thinking in my head like, I don't need windshield wipers because we're in Las Vegas. It don't rain. Like, just give me my car back. I will take the fuse back out. I don't really care about the windshield wipers. But I had already hung up the phone because I was like, okay. But when I hung up the phone, I thought about that. I think I was at work and I was telling my coworker, like, man, when I hung up, I was like, man, I don't even need the windshield wipers because it don't rain in Vegas. So I gave him until, let me see if that was Wednesday, Friday. Anyway, let's just say I don't remember where I'm at. So all I could tell you guys is that exactly 2 weeks had went by. We were at another Friday. I called him up. I was like, what's going on with the car? He was like, we got everything up in there, but we still can't get the windshield wipers to cut on. So, yeah, okay. So he said we got everything up and running. We can't get the windshield wipers to cut on. I said, you know what? That's when I finally told him what I was thinking. I said, you know what, man? I don't need the windshield wipers. Just give me the car. You know, I'm not worried about that. I'm going to just take that fuse back out and just ride it without the windshield wipers. I don't need windshield wipers. She was like, just let us get it right for you, man. Just give me one more day. I will have this thing ready for you tomorrow, which was Saturday. So when Saturday came, I called him. He said, yeah, we're still working on it. We found some bad wires. We're about to put it back together. So I was like, okay, I'm on my way down there. When I get off work, he told me to come about 5, but I popped up at 3. So I got there at 3 o'clock. I called an Uber down there. So when I got there at 3 o'clock, he started telling me, you know, they're still trying to figure out how to get the windshield wipers to work. So I was like, well, you know, I can just take it to Dodge and they'll figure that out. So just go and pass the car up. I know I don't owe you for the remaining balance. I think the remaining balance was like $300 and some. She was like, yeah, you don't have to worry about the remaining balance. Just give us a couple minutes to get it right. So they ended up going back up under the hood, and then they started talking about something that had been wrong with the car for a long time, because passenger side headlight had burnt out. It was a cord in there that had burnt out. They replaced the cord at Dodge. I still had a warranty on the car at the time. So this happened in 2013. Because I had just got, I remember when they fixed, no, you know what? I had just passed the warranty by 10 miles. I remember that. And they were like, damn, you just passed the warranty. We would have fixed it for free. So I had to pay $200 to get that cord replaced. So I replaced the cord. Maybe a year go by, less than a year. The light went out again, and I looked at the cord. It was burnt again. So I just unhooked the cord, and I unhooked the driver's side headlight, and I used to just turn on the high beams when I drive at night, which I didn't really drive that much at night anyway. So I would just, if I was driving at night, I would turn on the high beams. So let's fast forward to when the keychain thingy broke the turn signal. I was still able to turn the high beams on and use the turn signal, but I just couldn't control the windshield wiper blades. So like I said earlier, I had the fuse unhooked. So that's what they started talking about. I was like, oh, look, man, we found the bad wire. Just let us order a wire and we'll have the car ready for you by Monday. I was like, man, that's when I lost it. I was like, just don't order nothing else. I'm taking this car out of here. I'm going to have Dodge look at it, because what you're talking about is a problem that I've been had. And at that moment, I had already gotten the car and found out my radio wasn't working and the turn signals wasn't working either. They didn't even tell me that the turn signal wasn't working. He kept saying the windshield blades wasn't working. He did not say that the turn signal wasn't working, the radio wasn't working, none of that. And once they were ready to give me the car, the first time I got there, I was about to take the car. And that's when I was like, as long as the radio work, I don't care. He didn't say nothing. So I felt funny, and I got in the car and I checked. I was like, no, the radio not working, something's not right. What's going on here? So that's when they started talking about, they started testing the wires again, and he was like, oh, we found this bad wire over here. I was like, man, that's the headlight. That problem has been there. That's why it's unplugged. I've been riding with my high beams. So he was like, are you sure? I was like, man, I'm positive. That broke when I first bought the car. That wire burnt out back then. So he was like, but just let us order it, and that might be the problem. That's not going to get the radio back on. That's not going to make it say I have gas. That's not going to make the turn signals work. None of the headlight stuff have anything to do with this, but for some reason, well, it must do, because they did something that now the high beams won't even cut on. Weird. So I don't know, man. I'm actually just trying to recreate the moment, because I was talking for so long, and I'm trying to remember what I was talking about. So yeah, so that's where I'm at right now. All the stuff doesn't work, and it's saying that please enter anti-theft code on the radio. I always take this car. I used to always take this car to AA Auto Care, 111 on 2050 East Craig Road, North Las Vegas, 89030. I used to always take my car there since I bought it. Like, as soon as they told me that my warranty was up at Dodge, once I crossed 36,000 miles, I said I might as well just take it to the nearest dealership. I mean, not dealership. I said I might as well take it to the nearest auto care place that's by me, you know, the nearest mechanic shop. So I've been using these people since 2012. Like, once that warranty went out. 2012, I've been using them. The first thing that they fixed on this car was the alternator. My radio blew out the alternator, or made the alternator go bad, so I had to order a higher power alternator, or whatever however you say that, bigger amps or whatever. So I had to order a new alternator. They the ones that did everything, the alternator, radiator. When I tried to Google and try to do my own, I tried to change my thermostat. I did it before on my old cars, multiple times on different cars, because they sat on top. This one sat on the side. So when I took the thing out, the thermostat out, the radiator fluid fell everywhere, and they had to. I thought everything was all right. About a month later, that thing said, you need to take this in right now because something is horribly wrong. They fixed that as well. I left, nothing was wrong. But when that happened, the last time they fixed it, it was that problem. The whatever I messed up when I tried to change the thermostat. They fixed that, and a month later, 2 months later, the tire blew out, and then they said something was horribly wrong with the suspension. I parked it. So that's about it. That's where I'm at with this car.